The mysteries of the universe, the essence of the human spirit, the etheric body, the light body, the soul. Hello, my name is Russell Forsyth, and in 2006 I invented a crystal light bed that I use for energy work on the human body. This invention has allowed me to witness the human spirit at various stages of development and with a variety of people from all walks of life and all ages. Part of my journey connected me with a 3-month-old baby and her parents, who led me to information about the subtle nuances found deep within the etheric body in a process known as soul retrieval. Today, I would like to share information on soul retrieval, but in order to understand the definition of a soul retrieval, first we must define soul fragmentation. I liken soul fragmentation to what we might get out of the image of a jigsaw puzzle. If we were to work on the energy of the soul, like we were assembling a picture puzzle, we might possibly get to the end of the box and find some pieces are missing. Clinical psychologists believe that 70 to 100% of our population is affected by soul fragmentation, a condition that can result from trauma in this life or a previous one. A traumatic event can create a type of energy separation that occurs in the etheric body, also known as the energy body or the soul. The human body is a complex organism that is organized under many dimensions. Within each dimension, there is an opportunity for disharmony that can lead to emotional distress, illness, or even disease. In some cases, the cause is biological or chemical in nature, but most of the time there can be an energetic component at the root of the disorder, and the chemical or biological imbalance that is occurring is merely a symptom of a greater underlying cause. Each person has a story or a soul journey that can affect the relationship between the soul and the physical body within the current incarnation. By bringing a focus to the soul, we can find ways to undo the negative effects that energy may impose on the body. Dr. William Baldwin was a clinical psychologist who wrote a book with his wife, Reverend Judith Baldwin, called Close Encounters of the Possession Kind. In the book, he writes that during his studies in the area of soul fragmentation, it occurred to him that he might have this condition himself. What triggered that thought was a behavior pattern that he had established as a result of an incident that happened in his youth. The chocolate chip cookie fragment. Dr. Baldwin describes being in the kitchen with his grandmother when he was 9 years old as they were baking chocolate chip cookies. His grandmother piled the cookies on a breadboard to cool. His mouth salivated with the smell of the cookies and he couldn't resist. The young Baldwin reached for a cookie, but before he could place his hands on one, his grandmother turned and lightly slapped his hand. Now, he wanted the cookies more than ever, and a sub-personality bubbled to the surface as he demanded that he be allowed to eat the cookies. That minor emotional event caused a split in his personality and triggered an energy that established a behavior pattern around a habit of eating cookies. This behavior followed him into his adulthood, and it was this pattern that drew his attention to a potential fragmentation. Dr. Baldwin believed that this was the result of a past life experience. He decided to go and receive a past life regression from a therapist. During that session, he relived a lifetime that ended badly with starvation when he was 9 years old. His soul fragments from the traumatic experience, and when triggered, he established an unusual behavior around the way he was eating cookies. After a regression, his cookie eating habit normalized. Dr. Baldwin's chocolate chip cookies were his way of assuring the soul that he would never let starvation occur in this lifetime. The cookies brought comfort by filling the hole left in his energy as a result of the past life event that separated his etheric body. Past lives. Mass starvation is a common past life experience that has occurred on our planet repeatedly over the centuries. Many people who have carried this type of event at a soul level carry extra weight as a type of protection to make energetic assurance that history will not repeat. Suffocation is also a common experience to many souls on the planet. When a baby travels through the birth canal, air and the mother's sustenance can be momentarily lost. The resulting effect can be the trigger of energy in a fragment that establishes a behavior pattern. A person who experienced the trigger through a birth trauma might not be able to wear jewelry, a necktie, or tight clothing around the neck. They might be overly sensitive to someone placing their hands on their neck or have a phobia around being in tight spaces. Disasters from the past could be responsible for many soul fragmentations, which have led to several issues such as fears, behavior patterns, repeating negative experiences, thought patterns that are misaligned, reoccurring dreams, distant memories, belief systems that have no bearing on the current reality, addictions, destructive patterns, and some things that probably cannot be defined. Dr. Baldwin expressed in his book that the past life personality, in fact, all past life and potential future life personalities, are contained within the soul essence, along with the memories and life scripts of all lifetimes. The entire panorama of past lives and future lives on this planet and elsewhere is available to the client in an altered state of consciousness. The linear flow of time is an artifact of the physical universe, which a being experiences only while incarnated in physical form. Past and future lives do not seem to be arranged in this linear fashion. Past lives can be challenging and hard to understand due to the esoteric nature of the information. But what about this lifetime? According to Dr. Baldwin, these missing fragments can be located in various parts of the body, such as the organs. A missing piece might limit the energy movement within those areas, leading to the manifestation of disease and illness. So he writes the following: in indigenous cultures, sickness was thought to be caused by the loss of one's soul or part of it. The shaman journeyed into the underworld, the upper world, or wherever the soul fragment had gone, to retrieve the soul and return it to the sick person, restoring wholeness and health. Most everyone has mixed feelings at times, mood changes, awareness of parts of the personality with different desires, roles, even functions. We often act differently in different circumstances. The overbearing supervisor in the office can be a submissive husband at home. The capable, patient, and loving mother can be a screaming, demanding, unreasonable customer at the store. These various selves have been labeled subpersonalities. Many people shift between subpersonalities without notice, simply adjusting and conforming to the surrounding circumstances. More obvious changes in personalities can stem from early painful experience. These splits of consciousness can result from a major or minor, real or imagined, emotional or physical trauma. Most of these personality fragments remain with the person, affecting behavior, appetites, and attitudes. There are many therapeutic techniques for treating this condition, such as ego state therapy, inner child healing, subpersonality therapy, parts therapy. In clinical practice, Dr. Baldwin writes, we have found that some of these splits or fragments actually separate from the person, much like the out-of-body experience. Each fragment remains connected to the core consciousness in the physical body by a silver thread, a part of the silver cord connecting the soul to the body. Many clients in altered states can perceive this silver thread connection. In some reported cases of out-of-body experience, people perceive a cord of light connecting their physical body with the location of their consciousness. In the literature on multiple personality, the sufferers, more often women than men, describe splitting away physically, actually leaving the body during sexual abuse. Combat veterans often sustain severe fragmentation during life-threatening firefights, a serious traffic accident. Even a narrowly missed collision can cause a fragment to separate and move toward the light, assuming it has died. The shock and the emotional impact of the trauma on the psyche can lead to a fragmentation of the consciousness, the soul essence. Soul fragmentation can occur from a major traumatic event, as Dr. Baldwin describes. Furthermore, a split can take place from an event as subtle as a disapproving glance from a parent, teacher, or someone you love and honor. A person can be bullied to the point that their personality splits, or one could lose a loved one, or experience another form of loss or abuse. All of these experiences could be viewed as something short of trauma in the eyes of some, but to the soul, the impact might be devastating and unavoidable. This concludes part 1 of Soul Retrieval. Please tune in to the conclusion found in part 2. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you found this information helpful.